Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel for another video in this series Legend of Asphalt. Today we have here a guest, one of the best sportcasters, an asphalt caster as well, who according Marv spoilers was also a competitive player, a professional whose work I have for a long time admired and following, and who I'm honored to welcome here today for this conversation. So, welcome, Liho.
Thank you. You flatter me too much. You flatter me. But no, it's great to be here. I think this is probably my first interview I've done in terms of Asphalt, because it's mainly just been competing back in the day and now commentating. But it's great to be here. My voice is a bit choky. It's quite bad at the moment because I'm actually still very unwell, but I'll try and stay as hyped and happy as anything like I normally am. But yeah, I'm just on the recovery road at the moment. But no, I'm extremely happy to be here to talk with you.
Thank you for accepting my invitation. I'm super excited for this chat and curious to know the stories that you have to tell us about the asphalt and as your career as caster. So, without wasting any time, let's go to the questions.
Yeah, sure, let's do it.
Okay, first question I asked to all my guests. Could you tell us a little bit about how your story began in this franchise, in Asphalt franchise?
Yeah, sure. Goodness me, it's been so many years. I'm surprised I can even remember half of half of everything I know. In terms of a bit of background for anyone who doesn't know me, in terms of my what I was doing in the competitive scene, I was playing Halo professionally from 2002 to 2016. Uh, I won the majority of the tournaments from 2002 to 2008. And during Halo 3, I wasn't winning as much anymore. I was getting second, third, eighth, sixth, fourth, second, fifth, and I was just, yeah, I was struggling to get any wins back, and I felt like it was time to have a break because I already played Halo for quite a while at that time.
Mhm.
And I saw Asphalt being played. I heard it was going to be one of the main titles at the World Cyber Games in 2009. And I practiced what I could. And I heard of Asphalt 3, and the graphics, I don't know how to compare it. It was like Super Nintendo graphics. And then when you switched over to Asphalt, the how it looked graphically was beautiful. When you went from Asphalt 3 to Asphalt 4, it was just ridiculous how good it looked. I was so impressed, and I thought this would be a good time to maybe give it a try competing. I've never played any competitive racing games before. I was
Mhm.
always quite keen in getting involved, and I knew that would be my time to get involved. And it was quite interesting for me because I left Halo behind me for a little bit, and I wanted to just try something new. And I competed at the World Cyber Games for Halo 1 in 2003. I competed in the World Cyber Games for Halo 2 in 2005. So to switch from a first person shooter over to a racing game was a completely different skill set, and the pedigree of
Mhm.
skill and the skills you need got to
Wow.
break through is quite a lot. I did my best in the UK finals. Sadly, I lost 3-2. One of the reasons why I lost, I think I was down 2-0 at one stage. I brought it back 2-all, and I actually lost because my opponent actually clipped me. We both crashed, but I don't know if it was a bug or I'm not sure what it was, but my opponent actually spawned 2.5 seconds in
Uh-huh.
front of me when we should have actually spawned side by side. So because he spawns 2 seconds in front, as you know,
Mhm.
you wreck once, that's it,
Yeah.
it's game over. It was the same back in Asphalt 4. It's the same, it's quite similar now, depending on the circumstances of the situation. And the winner of each national final. So obviously the UK, France, Peru, South Korea. There was a national final in every country. Will travel to the grand finals in wherever country it could be. It could be in China, in the States, South Korea.
Wow.
So sadly, I came second. I lost out. I was pretty gutted that we both crashed on the final race, but I spawned 2.5 seconds behind him. I'll never understand why. It still bugs me to this day, even thinking about it. But it is what it is. I put it into the past. And for the World Cyber Games of 2010, I thought I'm going to give it another go, put a bit more practice in as well. And this was on Asphalt 5, so it was a little bit more different. And the skill set was pretty much the same with what it was in Asphalt 4 in terms of refinements, the nitro, all that jazz. I'm not going to go into too much detail. And funny enough, when I got to the finals in the UK, I matched against the exact same guy
Oh,
who I faced in 2009. But the only difference is I won 3-0. I didn't lose 3-2. So it made a nice change. But the player's name was Mello. He was a very good player, very strong player, very consistent. And I just tried to do what I could in order to not just breach the skill ceiling, but I wanted to be at the highest level possible in order to go through. So managed to win the UK finals quite comfortably. In the World Cyber Games European qualifiers, which is in Poland, I think I placed top 6 or top 4. I can't remember exactly, but I think you had to get at least like top 8 or top 6 in order to qualify for the grand finals. And then when we went to the World Cyber Games 2010 grand finals, that was in Los Angeles, I believe. But
wow.
I got knocked out in the group stages. I literally had the group of death. I had the number 1 player in the States, South Korea, last year's runner-up from Singapore. It was just extremely difficult in the end. I placed 3rd, but I think I got top 12 overall. A little bit unfortunate. And going into the World Cyber Games 2011, that was on Asphalt 6. So we had to transition into different games straight away. It wasn't
Wow.
like, we're on Asphalt Legends Unite and we're going to play the same game every year. Each game is different. So '09 was Asphalt 4, 2010 was Asphalt 5, 2011 was Asphalt 6,
Thanks.
Asphalt 6 Adrenaline. But the qualifiers for that was a bit different. It was all online, all time trial based. I was actually first on the leaderboard for a long time. I mean, on the last few days, a few cheaters were trying to take the top spot in the UK. They actually got removed straight away. And then that's when I got a phone call to say, pretty sure these are cheaters. Do you want to come across? And I said, yep, sure, fair enough. Went to the World Cyber Games in 2011 for Asphalt 6, and I got top 12 again. I don't know what it is, but I always get placed in the group of death in every single World Cyber Games group stage grand final. I don't know what it is. It happened to me in 2003, 2005, 2010, and it happened in 2011 as well. So I seem to get pretty bad luck in terms of brackets and group stages. But these things happen. I always say to myself that if in order to, win the entire thing, you've got to beat absolutely everybody. And if you can't beat everybody, even in the group stage, then that's fair enough. There's probably would have been a good chance I wouldn't have been able to make it to the grand finals, like the actual final pinnacle point. Anyway, and then after that, the World Cyber Games stopped doing Asphalt. So that's when I took quite a long break. It was very difficult to practice on Asphalt anyway between 2009 and 2011 because they had these specialized WCG Samsung cars, which you could only play in game whilst the time trials or multiplayer events were on. But when they weren't on during the brief period for like 4 to 6 weeks from the national final to the grand finals, we couldn't really practice. So we just had to, just refine what we could on the tracks, and then whatever happens at the grand finals happens. So it was very difficult because the WCG Samsung car was just ridiculously fast, great durability, fantastic handling. And I go back to my original car set in my garage, and I'm just like, yeah, it
Oh.
just feels so obsolete in comparison to that Samsung car. I was just like, oh my goodness. But we tried to practice how we could anyway. And that's when I went back to Halo because Halo 4 was being released in, I think, 2012. And that's when I took the break from Asphalt. But I don't think there was any more Asphalt events after that event in 2011. So I went back to competing in Halo up to 2016.
Wow, what a nice story.
It's quite a long story.
Hmm. Well, a long story with the franchise, but really fast to tell us everything. And
I tried to make it long story short, did my best.
yeah. And after this time playing, you become a caster. So, what motivated you to become a caster for Asphalt and other esports? How it started? And do you remember your first job as caster and how it was like?
I do actually, yeah. It was for the Halo Pro series at the end of 2016. I retired in the summer of 2016. I thought, yeah, I'm getting a bit old. Haven't got the time anymore to invest, and it was very difficult for me to kind of keep up with the rest of the top dogs in the scene. I would still get a considerably decent placement, but I'm always looking for like at least podium finish, at least in the top three.
Mhm.
But it was a real struggle at the time, so I gave it up. One of my friends, who was already a commentator, called Sims. You probably know him from back in the day when he used to commentate all the big esports like PUBG and Halo and all other bits and pieces. He asked me to be an analyst on the desk. I said
Mhm.
no. He asked me a second time a week later. I said no. And I said, and then a third time he asked me, he said, Harry, just try it just once. Just see how you feel. Try it. If you don't like it, you don't have to do it anymore. And I said, I I don't feel like I'd be that good on camera. Like it's not really my forte. And he said, well, you can play in front of a camera. Why can't you talk in front of a camera? What's wrong with you? And I was just like, yeah, he's got quite a valid point. But I was like, okay, sure, why not? I can. It's for a game I know inside and out, so that's fine. Gave it a chance, and ever since then, I absolutely loved it. And you will get quite a lot of retired players who will transition from a player to an analyst, because having a retired professional player on the analyst desk is perfect, because you can, dig their brains, you can find out inside and out exactly about certain players,
Mhm.
some of their tendencies, what we especially don't know in terms of the meta. A lot of things we probably don't know as well. So it's extremely handy to have a ex-professional player on
Mhm.
the desk, because it will give the desk host a lot of not just questions to ask, but it will give him a lot of help in hand as well in terms of running the desk overall. But yeah, I was doing Halo and Quake in 2016, 2017, and then I saw Asphalt was being casted, Asphalt 9, and I was like, oh my God. I don't know where I saw it, I don't know how I saw it. I think I must have saw it on X somewhere, and I was like, I have to get involved. It's like, no way I can't. I need to be a part of this. I couldn't believe it. It was like nostalgia for me. But I didn't tell anyone I used to be a player. I just said
Mhm.
straight up, I just want to commentate it. I would love to be a part of it. I think only a couple of people only found out I used to be a player like last year. The reason why I didn't tell anyone as a player, because on broadcast it's not about us, the commentators or production team or anything else. It's about the players who are competing. They're the stars of the show. They're the ones who deserve all the spotlight with the time invested leading up to these tournaments. So I can't remember what tournament I asked for. I don't know if it was one of the Open Finals in 2018 or Gamescom. I think Gamescom 2018 was one of my first to commentate, and ever since then I've been hooked. I've always been hooked on Asphalt anyway. I've been a part of the scene for 16 years now, and when I found out that there was going to be a esports scene being revived by Gameloft and the team at Asphalt, that they were going to be having these tournaments, these open finals with Snapdragon Pro series, I was so excited. It was like I was like a kid at Christmas, pretty much. I just couldn't believe it. I was like, my God, like a game I used to briefly compete in and be able to have the chance to be a part of. I was super excited and super stoked, and I always feel grateful and fortunate to be a part of the scene one way or another.
Oh, so nice. I can imagine how you feel when these events come out and you got the chance to have a part of it.
Yeah, I know. I'm even to this day, I'm extremely grateful, and all the other casters, including yourself and everyone, are so happy, so nice, so friendly. Always there to help out if anything is required. So yeah, it's a really, honestly, it's a awesome scene to be part of.
And being a caster, how you prepare yourself for an event, especially with Asphalt? Have you been able to keep up with the games competitive scene? And all these changes that come with Unite?
At the very beginning, no, it was actually quite a struggle because you got to remember the last Asphalt I competed in was Asphalt 6 Adrenaline. So a month before I heard I was doing my first gig, which was at Gamecom 2018, I thought, right, I've got it. Let's get involved. Let's start playing, and the differences is just ridiculous. It was like on Asphalt Adrenaline, like we only had like two types of nitro and very little refinements here and there. And jumping from Asphalt 6 to Asphalt 9, I was like, oh my goodness, the knowledge base in comparison to what I had to deal with in Asphalt 6 Adrenaline was ridiculous. Like, there's now 4 different types of nitro. There's you can do 360s, barrel rolls, all this stuff, blah blah blah. And I was just like, okay, I've got my work cut out here. I've got to do quite a lot. So I was playing on iOS for probably about 2 to 4 hours a day every day leading up to Gamescom, just to be able to get a enough understanding, like to a satisfactory level. But not only that, I always feel like the more prep you do, the less you'll stutter and stumble on your words on broadcast, especially. So, and you'll notice that with some casters, if you see them stumble or stutter a lot, then they probably haven't done their research or haven't done their prep or haven't played the game enough. So, because there wasn't really much history to go by in terms of the players, the only thing I could do was just play the game as much as I could, which is what I did. And then I got the knowledge from some of the players talking to them at the event as well. And it was great to see such fresh faces. I was wondering if there was anyone maybe back from 2011, 2010, 2009, which are still competing to this day. Sadly, there's absolutely no one. It's I seem to be the only person. I was like, okay, fair enough. But it was an incredible experience, and it's nice because as time has progressed, the more tournaments I've been commentating on, the more I've been learning, and I've been playing a lot more recently. I think ever since Asphalt 2024 finals occurred, I think I've been on the game almost every day for the last like 4 months. I haven't been able to get off the game. I don't know why I've got so addicted to it recently, but yeah, I've just not been off the game. I've been absolutely grinding it. But yeah, it's good because there's still a lot of mistakes I still personally make, such as potentially the terminology, certain factors in the game which should or should not happen. But that's why you've got great other casters such as Marth, who's extremely talented in terms of the knowledge he knows. That's why he makes a very good color cast as well, which is great for me because that means I can just focus on the hype, the energy, the play-by-play scenario of the scene. And commentators like Marth is an extremely viable asset in the scene. And funny enough, I was actually watching his videos before I did Gamescom 2018, and funny enough, I didn't even realize I was going to be commentating with him like a few years later. So it was fantastic to witness. I think I said it to him last year? I said to him, do you know that I got into Asphalt 9 in terms of speed running to get my knowledge back to a high standard was actually to go through some of his videos? And he went, really? And I was like, yeah, yeah, it was. He seemed quite surprised, but I said to him, like, people like him as content creators and others made it a lot easier for me to kind of speed run the amount of knowledge I need to catch up on, because Asphalt 9 was out for quite a while at the time, and I needed to not just go through lots of VODs, but go through just the absolute basics leading up to the highest competitive level. But it was difficult to begin with, but now I feel like I've hit a point where I'm in a good spot. The only things I need to really kind of close up and try and stay on top of is very small refinements in the meta and certain players' individual tendencies. But apart from that, though, there's still a lot more work which I feel needs to be done, definitely.
And at some point during these years as casting, have you ever felt like, oh, I wanted to be in the other side, live in the competitor experience?
Honestly, if I had a 1v1 against like Alex, Flash, Jägermeister, or whatever, they'll probably beat me like 99-1 or 100-0 or something. So I don't really want to embarrass myself too much. But there is a part of me where I kind of felt like I would love to get involved in some way, but I'm actually, even though I'm a retired player, I'm still competing in Halo, but a very small amounts. So like I won a couple of online tournaments a couple of months ago for Halo 1. I was in Vegas for the global Halo 1 and Halo 2 tournament, which I placed quite well in. I think I got top 6 in Halo 1 and top 16 in Halo 2. But apart from that, though, in terms of competitive integrity, in terms of getting involved, Asphalt, I feel like I'm way out of my depth. I feel like if I said I would stand a chance, would be disrespecting the players. I will definitely not have a chance, like at all. Like, I could safely say that. If I did, I'd have to play like 8 hours a day for like a month, and maybe have a coach or someone to tell me what on earth I'm doing right and wrong. But yeah, there's a lot of bits and pieces I've missed out on, and I feel like I wouldn't have enough time to invest in order to keep up with the players at Asphalt. With Halo, it's fine because all the time I've invested, I can just come back to the game and be at a high level. But with
Mhm.
Asphalt, you know, you got to remember, it's like I said before, like the last one I competed was Asphalt 6 Adrenaline. Going to Asphalt Legends Unite, it's an entirely different ball game. But I still play, I mostly play all the multiplayer modes on Asphalt Legends Unite. So I do like to play, semi-competitive, so to speak.
Ooh, nice. And over the years casting Asphalt, what was the most memorable match you have ever presented? And which match would you like to have narrated or have the chance to narrate in the future?
Goodness, man, that's a tough question because, yeah, after so many events, I feel like I've been a part of the events which mattered most to me in terms of how much of a spectacle it was, in terms of everything that occurred throughout the entire weekend of each event. Um, Gamescom 2018 rings a bell, not because it was one of my first events casting, but when everyone assumed that RPM Alex was gonna win. It's definitely one of the heavy favourites to win the competition. But the South Korean player, known as Driver, funny enough, was just using a default name and won the entire event. Was just balmy, absolutely balmy. I couldn't believe it. I was looking at more. Because I always have pages and pages of research and notes, and I was like, I've got nothing on this guy. So surely this guy is probably I don't know, like gonna probably like there's 16 players, probably come like top 12, top 8 if he's lucky, depending on the circumstances. I think he went into group stages then single elimination. But yeah, won the entire thing, and I was still scratching my head even to this day, thinking to myself, how on earth did that happen? But maybe he was just one of the biggest dark horses we ever had. I think a lot of us were surprised. I think some of the top players may not have been surprised because they probably have heard of him. You don't get a player with that caliber of skill to come out of nowhere. It's not something which is common. Extremely rare if that was the case. And the other one would be Milan Games Week, where
Oh,
we
yeah.
had Future Flash versus RPM Alex, and that was a grueling final. But I did have a feeling Alex may have came second because Future Flash seemed extremely confident, very flamboyant, and very energetic, and seemed very confident on the stage. I don't really
Mhm.
show much nose. He's got balls of steel, guy. Definitely. And I was very surprised because I think it was maybe his first offline event, and yeah, absolutely smashed it. And he's been doing really well ever since. I did have an inkling that this guy, if this is his first event in the European scene, he's definitely going to be someone who's going to engrave his name into the asphalt scene as one of the top players, or definitely a player of legendary status in the competitive scene overall.
Yeah, and after it, today we have 10 championship for him. What a great story! And the match that you want to narrate in the future, any clue?
I don't know what events because I know there's a few of it. I'll be honest with you. There isn't a particular event I want to commentate in the future. It's like I mentioned before. I'm just happy to be a part of any event because I just feel like we don't really get many clean sweeps. We don't get many 3-0s or any players which are way above the rest. It's still very tight knit in terms of that skill ceiling or that skill gap. shall I say. So, we've still got, events coming up, haven't we? We've still got the Lamborghini Esports Series coming up in DreamHack Dallas, which is amazing. And I'm
Wow.
sure we'll probably have more events in the future, which is very exciting to be able to behold and witness. But in terms of what I want to see, I'm not too sure what I would like to see as of yet, because of the fact that I feel like the cat that got the cream at the moment with the amount of matches, and the matches in particular we've been able to cast. Like D-Man and Marth, like they've been, and Joel as well, forgot. They've been great to commentate with. But in terms of matchups in particular, I love to see. I'm not really too sure, because I do feel like I've been very fortunate in casting some incredible grand finals, incredible series, but I don't know. I'll probably have to come back to you on that one.
Okay, fair enough. And in your opinion, and with all the experience that you have in other esports, not just with Asphalt, how could Asphalt competitive evolve to become relevant and attract the interest of the public, sponsors, and also of more pro players?
Um, it's a difficult question, because you need to try and find a way, not just for the top players to be involved, but for the amateur players or the top competitive players who haven't reached that point of as a professional. I feel like a pro league would be a great idea. Have a pro league, a challenger league, have an official asphalt stream for the pro league, and have community casters for a challenger league. And I feel like have like a 6 to 8 week season, have a pro league in every continent as well, and then based on the skill level of each continent, you can have, like, I don't know, top four in EU, top four in Asia, top four Latam, top four NA, etc., and then have them attend a, not maybe not a world, but just like a grand final, so to speak. That would be good. The problem is that the budget in terms of production would cost a lot of money. So
Mm-hmm.
I would probably suggest doing it something like, if I was part of the Game Off team, I'd probably do it somewhere in house, somewhere local, or in all fairness, you can have these official streams online anyway, which is, of course, the great thing about the world we live in
Mm-hmm.
nowadays. So I'd probably say have a pro league and challenger league, and also give something to the community in terms of the players who are looking to try and make their mark as a professional in the asphalt scene. Yeah, but it's like I said, budget will play a big part, but I'm sure one production company may be able to do it. But it can also all be community based anyway, so that could be another stepping stone, really. It's quite a difficult one, but I'd probably say, yeah, a pro league and a challenger league, and maybe some kind of qualifier to get yourself into the challenger league as well, because I feel like it's very difficult to qualify nowadays for some of these
Mm-hmm.
big events, and very limited spaces, and you do feel like even some of the top players may fail to even qualify, let alone
Yeah.
some of the amateur players to make it into the scene. Not only that, though, just to add to the whole pro league challenger league scenario, is it keeps up a very high level of competitive integrity as well. So it's not just, we've got an event every 3 months, or every 4 months, or every couple of months, because last year we had like 5 events last year, didn't we? That was
Mm-hmm.
actually quite crazy, but again, more events the merrier. But yeah, instead of having like an event every 3 months and then practice leading up to it, I feel like it will help the competitive integrity in terms of the skill level for a lot of these players, especially for the amateur players as well, because I do feel like there's probably players out there who are completely unknown. We have absolutely no clue, no idea about them, who could potentially break into the scene.
And community tournaments could help.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. This is exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, so not just Pro League and Challenger League, but maybe qualifiers, community tournaments would be great as well. And even the prize pool doesn't need to be that large. Just give them some kind of incentive to play competitively. Don't get me wrong, there's a huge, casual player base as well. But if there's any casual players who just want to dabble, get involved, maybe just give it a try, see what they think, then at least they'll have somewhere to go in order to be able to just be a part of it, just see what they think.
Yeah, because if you look today for the tournaments, just eight couples, it's for award of players. It's really, really difficult.
It really is, yeah. Like I see the names on the leaderboard. I've been checking the leaderboard at the moment on the for the Lamborghini Esports Series, and yeah, it's very tough, extremely difficult, and you know it's going to be by a few hundredths of a second or a few thousandths of a second. It's going to be so tight knit, and I understand it from game loss perspective. It's I think it's still a good way in order for them to be able to get the players required, because you do see the same faces, the same names
Hmm.
competing in these tournaments. But yeah, maybe just give a little something for the players who are maybe not as good as some of the top players, but be able to slowly make a name for themselves and be able to improve week on week.
Hmm. It's a good idea, at least for me. And
Oh, they're probably watching thinking, oh, that's an awful idea. That's the best I can come up with on the spot, anyway.
yeah. And finally, what advice would you give to anyone who wants become a professional in esport area? As a pro player or as a part the team of brings excitement to those that are watching.
I would say, as a player, I'll be honest with you, this is coming more from a Halo background rather than Asphalt, but I feel like it does relay to Asphalt as well. Is the first thing you need to do is just invest in as many hours as possible and build up muscle memory. You could build up muscle memory, for the tracks, the refinements you need, everything that needs to be done in order to be able to make yourself the best player possible. And then once you feel like you've hit your peak, that's probably when you need to start watching VODs. You need to start tweaking any kind of inconsistencies which you could be failing here and there. And finally, one of my biggest points is with going back to time investment, do not autopilot. I've seen so many people just autopilot and just play for the sake of playing. But each day you could be asking yourself, what have I learned today? What have I done today? What have I refined? What have I improved on? What do I feel like needs to be rectified in order to make myself a better player? But I've seen a lot of players where they all just play, 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 play. Yes, you're building a muscle memory, but you're not learning anything. So do not
Yeah.
autopilot. That's my go-to as a player. But as a commentator, prepping is going to be your number one forte. The more you prep, again, it's going back to muscle memory. The easier it is going to be to remember and learn certain things about a particular game. Make sure you watch every VOD you can. I remember, every time I personally about to prepare for a asphalt event, a few weeks prior, I'll be playing like 4 hours a day, 6 hours a day. I'll be watching the last couple of tournaments to kind of like get me into the groove of things, get me excited, get me ready for it and all that jazz. But not only that though, you should probably ask players questions. I don't normally ask them often, but if I'm at an offline event on land, sorry, then yeah, I may ask a few of the players certain questions about who plays, who's going to be playing Dota this event, who's going to be what dramas, what's going on, like what's the biggest thing in the meta right now. I'm asked like little questions here and there in order to like just add to my knowledge a little bit more before we go into broadcast. So, and I think a very important thing is to create your own style as well, like how you preserve yourself. And you got to remember that as a commentator, you're not just shouting at the screen to say this is happening, this is happening. You've got to understand that you are the storyteller. You're the one who needs to dictate and create these storylines. So make sure to create a story to keep interest for the viewers, because the viewers will just turn off if you're just going to sit there and just shout at the screen every single time. So make sure before you attend an event or commentate an event, make sure you've got certain storylines and certain bits and pieces of information from the players with you ready. So at least that way you can create that nice story, and that will keep the viewers and maybe even players, if they're interested, engaged and excited,
Hmm.
because creating storylines such like rivalries, or maybe a bit of beef between a couple of players, or between this club and that club. It's little things here and there, but creating a good story will definitely keep the players engaged, especially
Uh-huh.
when you're filling for time. Like I know if there's something happening, like a technical difficulty or something like that, that's like a good time to kind of fill with something interesting rather than pointless rubbish, which everyone knows about already. So but that's probably my go-to. And then and last, I keep saying last thing, but also I said it before, like with your preparation, it's extremely important. But also, just play the game as much as possible. Some people may commentate and they haven't played the game that much, but I feel like you should play the game down to a T. Not at, maybe not at the highest level, but invest in as many hours as possible, because I feel like you're disrespecting the game if you're not investing a lot of hours and
Mhm.
just watching VODs alone. But at the same time, it's helps with your natural ability to commentate, especially as someone who's like play by play.
Yeah, and it is special for those that are watching when the commentators knows what they are talking about. We can feel it when you are
You
working,
can tell.
especially with Marv. What a great couple of casters. And I already said it in another moments that this feeling that you and Marv can give us when you are working in an asphalt tournament. Wow. Make us
Yeah.
to what be there?
Yeah, because obviously we never met each other before until a couple of years ago, and we get on extremely well. Like we get on like house on fire. It was like literally we'll sit there and just talk for days about Asphalt. Like we would talk about anything else, but we're both so passionate about the game and what's going on in the competitive scene. You know, we'll always like just talk constantly about it. You know, we'll go out and do stuff together. We'll go out for food, for drinks, or talk about the game, and we'll also help each other at the event in terms of what we both need to improve on. Like he may
Mhm.
say, like in a set of knowledge here and there, which I need to maybe. Which I need to refine, and with him, I may help with him with certain things on the like professional casting side. So it's good because we both know each other's role. We both get on extremely well. We have a lot of natural chemistry, and we both help each other in a really big way as well. And I feel like Marth is an extremely I've said it before, I think, but I'll say it again. He's an extremely valuable asset as a caster in the scene, and I'm glad he's involved. But also, I can't forget D-Man and Jorso as well in the EU scene. They're both, again, very good play-by-play casters.
Mhm. Mhm. Lito, it was a great pleasure to talk with you. I bet that if not 100%, 99% of the persons that will watch this video will be very excited to meet you a little bit more and better because it make us to feel more close up to you guys that give us so much excitement with the game that we love. So thank you for this opportunity to be here and talk with you.
No, it's fine. Honestly, it's my pleasure. I haven't done an interview for Asphalt before, as I mentioned at the very beginning. So, yeah, extremely grateful. It's nice to show a bit more of our character rather than just seeing us as a face, you know, shouting at the screen constantly for each and every event. So, no, it's awesome. Thanks for the interview. Appreciate it. Thanks you for inviting me.
I hope to see you again here in the future for another conversation, maybe after some event
Oh yeah.
or
Oh yeah.
let's future talk for us.
Sounds good to me. I'm down for that.
Very nice. Okay, everyone, it was all for today. I see you all in the next video. Bye bye.